All right. Will be talking to us about toys in space.
Can I have some?
Yes, there's besides the table. So you need a pencil, you need a bear, a pair of scissors, and a bag with
string?
Yes. Tape, I only have one per table, not one for each, so.
That's just fine. I'll make that work.
Okay, while you are cutting, I'm going to get started. My name is Maria Nickel. I am a teacher in Interlake School Division in Stonewall, Manitoba. The school I teach at is Stonewall Centennial. The school previous to that last year was Woodlands Elementary. So Nicole Stonewall Centennial is a grades 5 to 8 school. The school that I was previously at was a K to 8 school. So I got a little too good at my school. They wanted me to go to a larger school to reach out to more. So that's why I'm at a new school this year. We are going to learn about NASA's program called Toys in Space. This can be used in grade 6 science. This can be used in grade 7, grade 8. I know in the Manitoba curriculum, we have a forces and structures unit. This could be used for there. Grade 8, it can be used in part of your optics unit. It could also be used as part of the fluids unit in grade 8. I don't know if that's comparable to the Ontario curriculum. It may be. And like I said, grade 6, it can be used in the space unit. You can use in grade 9 if you really want to for the astronomy unit that I know you guys do and we do as well. Okay, a little bit of spaceship humor. Man, this low gravity, I feel like I can lift anything. I even lift up the ship. Lift up the ship on the moon. Okay, ship's on. So my kids get a kick out of this. And then this is their favorite, so they told me I had to put this one in. The second before everything seems to exist, Mentos and watch out. And then another one of my kids, very, very adamant. He's one of my special needs kids, little Patrick. He really thought this one was pretty fun. Miss Nickel, you gotta put this one in. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for man. God, stupid gloves. LOL. Hey, why toys in space? We want to entertain our kids. We want to inspire our kids to introduce and explore scientific principles. And we want them to learn more about STEM. Who are some of our famous child inventors? So we've got Robert Goddard, the father of spaceflight, and Venetia Burney, who suggested that the name Pluto be used. And then the Planet X, she also was involved with that. And then the history. Shuttle mission STS-51 was when it was first started. And then 54, there was another one, and 77. And then the final one was in 2002. So each of these missions had a specific toy that was done, filmed, and tested in space. The big launch in 2008 was to try and get the kids really hooked on Toys in Space, and they tried to partner with Disney, and this is where the whole Buzz Lightyear event took place. So they were combining Disney, get a load of Buzz, see if you can create a toy, get inspired, and it drew a lot of kids to the NASA site, and also to NASA TV Live to watch the toys. They need to be environmentally safe on the ISS, and they have to be able to function in 1G. And they wanted a representation from all partners. And what that means is they wanted the teachers to be represented from around the world. So there are over 15 partner nations on the International Space Station. So they wanted to have representation of toys that you might find in some of these countries. They also wanted something that was really simple, easy to videotape, easy to document, something that teachers could use right away. So the toy that we are going to be doing is the climbing bear. There is another one that I've included in your handout. And that is the ball in the cup, the kendama. So that one can be done as well, but we're not going to do that one here. I needed far too many supplies to bring here, so the Comet Bear was easiest for you. But it did include instructions for the ball and cup in your pack handout. Okay, so what do we do? If you go to your handout, there is a KWL chart that looks like this. This is what we start the kids off with. What do I know about toys? So then the kids, I get them to put no more than 2. Give me 2 ideas you know about toys. Could be what do they do, what are they made of, just to get the kids' minds flowing around the idea of toys. Then we do, what do I know about space? Some kids know a lot, some kids know very little. So you want to put that down there as well, because this can help guide maybe what you're going to continue to do in your lessons in the future. Then the kids question, what do I want to know? And to make it short, I limit the kids to 2. Now in your classes, you can do as many as you like, but I limit it to 2, because I find if I give them 2, the discussion centers around those 2, and it's quite a lengthy discussion with the kids. But the choice is yours. And then what I learned. This part is saved for after we have completed watching the video and doing the climbing bear. Then, if you go to the sheet that has the hypothesis and observation sheet, I put the Comet, the climbing bear there, and then I get the kids to write a guess. Do they think the Comet, the climbing bear, will work in space? And this has been after our discussion about what gravity is, what microgravity is. So how do you think the toy would work on Earth? How do you think the toy would work in space? So the kids are going to put a guess. So they haven't seen the video by this point. We've only been talking about toys. We've built the bear. We do our guess, and then we watch the video. Does that make sense to everyone? And then very easy, the hypothesis, it work, it doesn't work, and then the observations. And I get the kids to write very simply, what did I see happen? Did I hear anything happen? Did the toy make a sound? Did it spark? Did it not spark? Did it move? Did it not move? Very simple things for the kids to answer. So even your kids that maybe struggle with language, they can at least contribute, and whoever, maybe an EA that's working with them could scribe for them. Or our partner could do that for them if they struggle with language. All right. Okay, we end off with dream with your students. This is where your toy is going to be tested. To give the kids a visual of, we have the toy on Earth, but this is where your toy is going to be. To get the kids thinking about microgravity. And what is microgravity? Microgravity is that piece that allows astronauts to appear to be floating in space. They're not really floating in space, they're doing something called free fall. How many of you have been in an elevator before where it went up and all of a sudden dropped very quickly? You kind of felt, whoa. How many of you done that? And then your head kind of felt like, whoa, yeah. That's what it feels like to the astronauts on the International Space Station. So that is the free fall that's happening because the International Space Station is going around and around and around, 27,000 kilometers an hour. That movement is creating that movement for the astronauts. So they're constantly trying to get to the ground, but they're not quite there yet. There's a little bit of gravity happening to them, but in full gravity. Okay, we are going to watch just the introduction to Toys in Space, and then we're going to get building.
This is the International Space Station. We're detecting several objects with us here in Earth orbit. They're coming into view now. It's a yo-yo and a top. It's a control that's floating.
Roger that, space station, not to worry. We send you a few important items. They are International Toy in Space. Future host, NASA astronaut Leland Melvin. Hi, I'm Leland Melvin, NASA astronaut. Welcome to International Toys in Space. In the past, you may have seen other NASA programs that highlighted toy experiments conducted on board the space shuttle. This time, we're going totally international, both with the toys that travel into space and with the space station they're going to. The toys have been collected from around the world, with over 40 toys being selected as candidates. In the end, less than half that number were considered good enough to make it through the selection process. Sorry, rubber duck. Better luck next time. The toys that made it had a long journey, flying on a space shuttle all the way up to the International Space Station, 250 miles above us. Built by international partners, the station is not only a common place to live in space, it's also a space laboratory. But this laboratory is different from any other because of the lack of gravity in space. The space station and all the objects inside it is in a state of free fall around the Earth. Space scientists describe this situation as microgravity. Think of the feeling you have on a swing just at the instant you start to come back down. Now imagine that falling sensation the whole time you're on board the station. But since the station's falling too, things appear to float with us. Scientists take advantage of the weightless effects of microgravity to study biology, technology, physics, and other scientific disciplines. Microgravity is also the condition in which we conduct our toy experiments.
This water bubble, there's a really cool experiment that they just did last week. They made one about this big, and they put a GoPro camera inside, and it actually filmed the astronauts from the outside, so that's pretty cool to check out.
And that's where you come in. For International Toys in Space, you are the investigators. The Expedition 5 crew has videotaped the toy experiments. Now you analyze the data. Okay, investigators, it's time to meet the station crew member who's going to guide you through your toy experiments. Meet Expedition 5 Science Officer Peggy Whitson.
Thanks, Leland. Expedition 5 was a 3-year mission, and we accomplished a lot. Along with my crewmates, Commander Valery Korzun and Flight Engineer Sergei Treshov, we performed a 6-month mission aboard the International Space Station. As Leland mentioned, there's a lot of science going on at the station. In fact, during our stay, I was named the station's first science officer. We conducted over 20 different experiments. I activated and tested the new microgravity glove box for the station, a place for experiments that need to be kept in an enclosed environment. You should know that for space stations, even a science officer's job isn't all just science. There was a lot of work to do as a space construction worker, too. I operated the station's robotic arm. Like a giant crane in space, the robot arm helps us install station parts. I also conducted a spacewalk that lasted over 4 hours. Valery and I installed micrometeorite shields on the Zvezda module, the living quarters of the station. And of course, there were the toys. In addition to the experiments you're about to see, we demonstrated some of the toys during a U.S. congressional hearing about space and education. So as you can see, it was a mission full of science and adventure, and the toys were a part of it all. During the video, you'll be hearing my voice give a play-by-play of the toy experiment. First you'll see the toy in Earth gravity, called 1G, then you'll see the video of the toy in space, in microgravity. Okay, investigators, good luck.
Okay, so I open with that. So the kids get to see that initial video. And then we talk about, well, do you think the climbing bear will get to go up in space and work properly? Have a discussion around that. And then we get to building the bear. Then the kids make their guess. Do they think it'll work? Then we watch the video on the climbing bear. So right now we're going to work on building the bear. So I need you to get your plastic bag with the string, And I need you to take out the white string. And you need one popsicle stick. You're going to take that string, you're going to make a loop. I have one done. You're going to take that loop and you're going to center it in the middle of your popsicle stick. And you're going to tape it so that you have a loop to hang the first popsicle stick. You have to share the tape. So grab the white string, make a loop, and center it as best you can in the middle of your popsicle stick. Tape it down real good. If you don't tape it down real good, it's going to be hard to move the
Sorry,
stick
that's not.
if it moves.
Oh, you do like that. Whoa. Smile
It's
face.
okay.
Let's hope.
This is going into space.
To make sure it's really good, you may have to put several pieces of tape or wrap the tape around so that the white loop is secured to the middle, approximately. If it's a little off, that's okay. You know, your kids are probably going to make it off to the side. It might be a little lopsided, but they'll get the idea. And they might want to fix it later once it's put together. This activity can be combined cross-curricularly, so I often tie this into an ELA section. So the kids have colored their bear, they've named their bear. I call this one Comet. They can call it anything they want. I cut out a little space helmet because I wanted my bear to be in space. So he has his own little suit. He has a mission patch. He or she then goes on a space adventure. So you can tie that into your ELA, get the kids to write a story about their climbing bear's adventure in space. Then you're going to take the two longer strings, and you are going to
Do they volunteer? Yes.
tape them on the sides. However, there's a little catch here. You're going to need to have your bear cut out and pasted on first because you want to match up the two long strings to where the bear's hands are. So it looks like the bear's grabbing onto the strings. It's a little bit of a visual piece for the kids. So tape your bear onto the second popsicle stick. Yep. So take the bear onto the second popsicle stick. So it should look like that. There are folded little ridges that you can fold to make it look like he's grabbing something. But if you don't want to, that's okay. It might be a little bit too advanced for your kids to do, but that's all right. They can still take it down. It's just for looks, strictly aesthetic. Okay, so they should look, he or she should look good at that. As long as he or she is taped on somehow onto your thing. It doesn't have to be clear tape. I just think you know. So you can use any kind of tape you like. Clear tape might work best for the kids that want to see the hands come through. Absolutely. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? Now, once you have that taped down, the first popsicle stick with the loop, you're going to take the two long strings, they are colored. You're going to take one and match it up as close as you can to the side of the bear. It'll make more sense when you put it together. But you're going to wrap it 3 times around and then tape it down. So your string will look like that. It's going to be taped. Here's your loop. Let's come on. Okay, so your loop is here. One string on one side, one string on the other. Leave it hanging. Don't attach it to the bear just yet. So once you have it wrapped around 3 times, then tape it.
How far in?
It doesn't matter. So anywhere. You're going to tape it on that side, and then the second string will be taped on the side. Yeah. Connect it up to the bear. Yeah. We'll show you how to attach the bear. There's a trick to the this one. Okay, so your bear is going to actually look like this once it's finished. So the strings will be long, and that's okay. And then your bear will be at the bottom right. On the popsicle stick that has the bear, on the back, you're going to place 2 of the straws. Now, some of the straws are longer, so you can just cut that in. It doesn't need to be huge. You're going to put those 2, straws right behind the hands of the bear. But they're not straight up and down. They're slightly at an angle. So they should be slightly to the side. I'll come around with my example to show you. It's got to be on the back of the bear.
Yeah, but the incline is outward, the outside or the inside?
Outside.
Okay.
So like chicken wings.
Like chicken.
Like chicken wings.
Yeah. So you want to
And you've got to fish the long strings through after you have done the taping down of the straw pieces on the back of the string, on the back of the popsicle stick.
Well, okay, so we haven't attached. Okay.
We haven't attached them yet, but we will be.
Do they, does it matter which angle is that with the other one?
Yeah, no, it's
So it's aimed towards his head.
Yeah, angle like chicken.
Did we feed these through?
We're gonna feed them through, yeah.
Sorry.
Once you have those straws
Can we record you guys over? Well, that.
on each side and then tape it so that it doesn't fall back through. So you'll tape the end of the long string once you fed it through so that it doesn't come back through the straw.
Press on first. Are you not one of these suckers? Sorry, I keep already not doing it.
It's okay, thank you. That's the nature of having just a one piece here. So we'll roll for 3 of us. So this gets fed through the straws.
Yes.
You can make this as long or as short as you want, but the longer
And
it
just
is,
tie the
the
knot
better
at the end of
chance
it?
of watching the bear move.
Something to keep
No, I
it from
think there's
coming.
a piece of tape she had. Okay.
Yeah. Piece of tape or something to keep it from coming back out.
Oh,
again.
okay. So it's a pretty long dangling rope.
Front and back.
Yeah. I need my hockey.
Man, I've been out of kindergarten for too long.
You need both.
The thing is, you could probably sit down a bunch of kids right now. And
They would be done. Sir, what's next?
What do we do after? Yeah.
Hold on. Sir's still cutting.
Beautiful. It's gonna be one amazing dangling bear.
I'll be so disappointed when we finish this. My bear doesn't.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Like rather than taping to it, you just tape the flag at the end, right?
Yeah.
So that it doesn't fall.
Right.
So I assume it was slide.
I think the tape's just to keep it from threading back through. Isn't that the idea? Okay.
I think it's gonna be one of those over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to do back. Let's. Yeah. Oh, or you can keep the flag right off. Have the bear fall to the step.
Any comments?
Take the lifesavers, attach them to the ends, and then
Alright.
the weighted hands.
Yes.
I have to take back the flag. Or something a little bit more efficient.
I think I'm regressing.
Progressing or regressing?
Regressing, definitely.
Houston, have a problem?
Yes. Wasn't that a great movie?
Oh yeah, every time it's on, I watch it.
I think that was weeks in error mode before the launch.
We did, Mike Ward put on a presentation years and years ago for Aspiring Leaders, they called it.
Yes.
And one of the stories in the book they had to read the textbook was, oh shoot, mission controller.
Oh, it's called Mission Controller?
No. Who was the mission controller?
Oh, that was,
I can see the guy.
yeah, in Apollo 13.
Yes.
Ed Harris.
Yes,
He
but
was,
the actual character.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, it was his story. It was just absolutely phenomenal stuff.
So, you know, I can see him doing the documentary, but what he did.
One thing I do recommend, the string that I've given you, this is more for adults, because adults can deal with this kind of string. When the kids take this home and you have this type of string, it will get tangled up. And it may frustrate them trying to untangle it. So what I recommend is that there is that sort of nylon type string. It's a little bit thicker, it's twinier. The white string, that works a lot better for the kids. This is just strictly for demonstration purposes for you guys. Does that make sense, everyone? Okay. But if you want to use this and see frustration, by all means, go to home. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab you, come on, and yep, you're going to try the bear. Oh no, demonstration. If you'd like to bring your bear, you can, or if you want to use my bear, that's fine too. Come on forward. So, you can either hold it up like this, or you can attach it onto the knob of a door. But because we're working with kids, you can hold this and this at the same time in case the kid pulls too hard and this gets ripped off. So you're going to hold it up here, and what the child is going to do is they're going to grab each of those ends, pull one side, pull the other side, and you will watch, you will see the bear climb up. Okay? Okay, so there's the bear climbing up. And the kids will play with this for like a half an hour. They'll have races, who can get their bear up the fastest, time it, and then they watch what happens on the space station. And on the space station, a majority of the kids believe that this will not work because gravity is what keeps it down, but it doesn't work in space, and it's due to friction. Right. So we watch the video, and then you see that, oh, I could play with this in space. This is a toy I could have. So then it gets the kids thinking about, well, what kind of toy could I design for the astronauts? And that could be a design challenge. So if you would like to play with your bear, give it a try. And I will pull up the comment video.
In the bear's hand, and the bear's hands move along the string. The string pulls in an angle. The friction is to create the hand does not move along the string. By altering the pull, the bear climbs along the string, hand by hand, with one hand remaining still while the other moves upward. On Earth, gravity will then pull the bear back down on the string. In space, we have to push the bear over the string backward.
Okay, then the kids put in their chart hockey, because that was one of the things that we came up with when we did some brainstorming. What other toys or games can we play in space? So then on their chart that you have in your handout, we will put hockey. Because they've seen the climbing bear work, now the kids are going to have a little bit more of a chance to give a different kind of prediction rather than sending them cold into the assignment. So then we go have that discussion. Do you think hockey will work? How do you think it will work in space? And then we show the video. And I have included all the links in the handout. This presentation is also posted on the STAO site, so you can access it and copy it and use it. All the links are live, and it's set out exactly like you have in your handout. So you can use it straight away right in your class on Monday if you'd like. Who would like to see the hockey?
Oh, yeah.
And then I will show you the kendama, which is the ball in the cup. And that's also in your handout.
When everything floats, it's hard to begin a hockey game with a face-off, but Valeria and Sergey give it a try. On Earth, this sport relies on gravity, on the energy transferred to a puck when hit by a stick, on the puck's speed, and on what happens when the puck hits a wall. In space, it's easy to swing the stick, but harder to keep the stick from touching the puck when the puck can bounce off in any direction. Passing back and forth works well until the puck is pushed against the floor. Then it bounces up and becomes hard.
And the kids all say, well, just take a slap shot.
Space hockey players. Passing back and forth can be mastered, but there's no friction or downward force to hold the puck to the floor. What if Valeria and Sergey decide to compete for the puck? Then it's challenging to control the puck and to take it away from your opponent. It's easier to check with the puck on the locker than in the air, and it's also easier to pass when there's a surface to help control the puck's motion. Sergey also discovered that the vent helps control the puck. Both the vent texture and the air pulling down through the vent both stabilize and slow down the puck's motion. Works well on the vent, that's cheating. To play hockey, we need a goal. I like your vent, Valeria, that was cool. It's Sergey's task to score by knocking the puck past Valeria and through the net. Notice that it's hard to keep the puck still long enough to take a shot at the goal. Is it easier to block a shot on Earth or in space? Look at Valeri's stance with his feet in straps for stability. It's hard to stay in place to protect them, and it's fun to imagine new rules for a space hockey game.
High sticky roll.
In your handout, I gave you the kendama, which is the ball in a cup. I have done this with kids, and I have done it with grade 12s. And all it is those little, we used a popsicle stick as well. The fat popsicle sticks that you have, and then those little shot glasses, the clear ones, or you could use the red colored ones, it's up to you. And I just used those rubber bouncing balls. You can have at the dollar store, a package of 5, really cheap. And then string and super glued it, and it works. A handheld ball and cup. So that's another activity that you can do with your kids as well. Just didn't want security.
On Earth, gravity causes the ball to fall into a cup and to sink it down in space. Larry tries to catch the ball in the cup and then on the spike at the end of the kendama. In all attempts, the ball bounces away from the kendama. Even pulling the kendama down and having the ball move toward it does not result in the ball staying in the cup. Next, Larry pulls the ball and the kendama apart and releases them. Notice that the ball moves faster than the kendama in both attempts. The ball is lighter, so it must move faster to conserve linear momentum. Also, the ball has less air resistance, but this is only a minor contributor to the speed difference. Watch as Valeri is finally successful in catching the ball in the cup. See if you can discover his secret before he shows you. Notice that catching the ball requires a very slow impact. Even with the sticky tape, the Japanese toy requires modifications for microgravity.
Now, would you like to see the Astrojack, the spinning top, or the handheld helicopter, the yo-yo? Door number 3, let's go with the handheld helicopter. This will be the last one.
The toy helicopter has a shaft and 2 blades, each tilted to catch the air and move the helicopter forward or backward depending on the direction of spin. First, Sergei spins the shaft of the toy helicopter and releases it. As the blades turn, the copter moves through the air. In the second release, the blades aren't turning as fast and the helicopter begins to tumble as the spinning slows. Now we've added a blade to the back end of the helicopter. Double blades definitely stabilize the helicopter due to the increased angular momentum. But do you think that they increase the helicopter's speed? We also brought along a small helicopter. The smaller helicopter had smaller blades which produce less upward force, but also less mass, which makes it easier to move. The two effects tend to cancel each other. The double small helicopter has a large helicopter shaft between the 2 small copters. It also works well. On the second spin, Sergei turns the copter the other direction and it moves through the air in the opposite direction. Finally, notice what will happen when we combine a large blade with a small one. We discovered that it's more stable if the large blade leads the helicopter. What if we add tape to one blade? Although the helicopter still flies, it's definitely wobblier. Except for crashing into walls, the helicopter works as well in the air of the space station as it does back on Earth.
The activity that you have just partaken in was part of the Honeywell Space Academy for educators. If you're an educator from kindergarten to grade 12, you can apply for this program. It is a scholarship program. Honeywell will pay for everything for you to be at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama. So the scholarship will pay for your flight. It pays for your lodging. They take care of all of your meals, and they will give you another suitcase full of stuff to take home. Okay, it is one of the most valuable PDs I have ever done in my entire life. Honeywell Space Academy for educators. When you graduate, you get a wonderful flight suit like I have, and you will have your team's mission patch on it, and you will have many activities, math, science, English, geography. They do it all in an entire week. And you get to collaborate from teachers from around the world and across Canada. Once you complete that program, you can also apply for the Advanced Space Academy. And that one's a more select elite group. I've been on that one as well, and my group was the one that got to see the final space shuttle Atlantis in February, in Florida. So we actually got to go to the launch pad, got to go and see it up close, and remarkable experience. They do take you there, just the shuttles are not on the launch pad anymore. And it's a fantastic experience to network with other like-minded educators, learn some really cool experiments, math, science, engineering, and to have a really good time learning and being a kid again. You get to be in the space shuttle simulators. You get to pilot just like the astronauts do. I piloted Discovery and Endeavour, and you also get to do the underwater astronaut training. They put you in the suit, you get to go underneath, you get to repair a mock-up of the International Space Station. It's a remarkable program. So if you have the opportunity and would like to give it a try, apply, and it'll probably be the best experience you'll ever have.
How long did it take you after you applied to it?
The applications were due, I'm not sure if it's November or December for this year coming up. And they let me know in March. So March they let me know that I was accepted. And then June, the last week, just about June 17th to the 25th was when I went. Yes.
Are there prerequisites?
What they want you to do is to showcase how you are incorporating science and space into your curriculum, giving examples of some of the things that you do in your class. For me, I do an astronaut training program with my students. So we have stations all around the entire room. I created it from scratch, and the kids get to train and be like an astronaut. And it was all related to the grade 6 science curriculum, and that's what I showcased. They liked it, they picked it, and I got to go. So that's what they're kind of looking for. Something that you're doing, nothing crazy, but what are you doing that you're really passionate about with space and science, and how are you showcasing that to kids? Because that's what their goal is. They want to educate the next generation of STEM kids. Any other questions? Okay, so this is our team. This is our advanced team. This is in front of the crawler. This is the giant platform that they use to take the shuttle to the launch pad, and this is also what they're going to be using to launch Orion as well. These plates here, they're huge. They're like this big, this wide, and they weigh 1 million pounds each. So each one of these is 1 million pounds. The reason why is because there's so much weight coming down, they got to make sure that that shuttle does not tip, fall, and then you've lost billions of dollars worth of equipment. And it actually runs on river stones that are taken from North Carolina. There's special stones that do not break. And this is an example of the shuttle cockpit. This is from Mission Control. So if you're chosen to be on the Mission Control team, this is what you will see. So you will be talking like they do in Mission Control, talking to the crew inside. And you're going through an actual mission. You have checklists to do, all those buttons work, and there's all kinds of things that go wrong, and you have to try and get out of it. This is the outside. And this is what your landing strip will look like when you're actually in the cockpit. They have the screen in front of you, and that's what you see when you come in. It's a exactly simulated like they have for the real astronauts. And then they tell you if you were complete or not. They also have an International Space Station mock-up where you get to go in and do missions there. You could be chosen to be commander of the space station. You could be an engineer. And then they take you to Kennedy. And they show you the rockets that are there, the Saturn V. The rovers that were on the moon. This is a rocket engine. This is the VAB building. This is the Vehicle Assembly Building in Florida. That flag is the size of 3 Greyhound buses. That's what housed the space shuttle, and that's what also houses the Saturn V rocket, and now the soon-to-be SLS rocket system that they're building. You can see the doors here. That's where the crawler comes out, and it takes the shuttle out. And these are the river stones. And that's the crawler on its way. You can see Atlantis in the background. And this is the inside of the building. It's pretty big. You play some pretty good football games there. And that's what the shuttle looks like on the crawler as it's going. It takes a long time. And that's to the roof. And the doors. And this is signatures of all the crews, all the workers that worked on Atlantis. And this is the orbiter processing facility. This is where they actually have the space shuttle, where it goes into the vehicle assembly building. And this is Endeavour. And these are the covers that are placed on Endeavour or any of the space shuttles as it's going to the rocket launch site. Those covers are removed just before launch. They don't want any debris or dust to get inside. So this was how close that our crew got to be as we watched. And this is the underside of the space shuttle. The tiles are special ceramic tiles. Each of them has its own code. It has to be scanned and coded that you have seen the shuttle tile, that it's in working order, it's not cracked, it's not broken, nothing. If it is, if there's something wrong, then they can replace it. That data is then transferred onto the International Space Station. The Canadarm sweeps a camera around it, and it records the data and to make sure that nothing is out of place. If something's out of place, they have repair kits on the station and also on the space shuttle to repair it. They wanted to minimize what happened with the shuttle disaster when it came back in. Because that's what had happened. One of the tiles was gone. Actually, several of the tiles was gone. Heat got inside and she exploded. Yeah. There's over 24,000 tiles. I wouldn't want that job. If you notice, there's gray and black. Black means that they are brand new shuttle tiles. They've gone up to space, they've come back down, but they haven't had a chance to get scorched yet. So the ones that are gray are the ones that have been back and forth from space many, many times. And this is what it appears as it's entering, and this is what it looks like from their cockpit view. Flames all around until they get you out. And this is the cargo bay of the shuttle, and the Canadarm sits on the right-hand side before she comes out to take up the cargo. You can fit a school bus inside here. And then we were hammering around. This is what one of the sleeping quarters looks like. You can sleep standing up with your arms out, or sometimes the astronauts like to take their arms inside and not have it move around. And that on the far left is a space shuttle fold. And this was our view from the launch pad of Atlantis. This is a small city. There are 300 people that live and work underneath to get the shuttle ready. And that's the crawler. And the 2 rocket boosters just before the shuttle was attached. The vane at the top is an electricity vane to make sure that nothing hits the shuttle. Lightning hits that lightning rod instead of the shuttle. So this is where they will take you. Traditionally, public is not allowed this close, but if you get to be in the Honeywell program, they will take you. They have a rail track system that goes all the way around, and this is used for fueling. These nets that are here, these are the escape hatches for the astronauts. So if you can see the cables, it will launch a basket with the astronaut in it, and that basket hits the mesh cable, stops them from getting hurt, and it's their way of getting out of the shuttle in case something has gone wrong and they need to exit the shuttle quickly. These are the underground bunkers that they can get into once they've got out of the basket. This is where they go, and this is also where you have access underneath where all the workers are. And this was the last time that the two shuttles had met before they were being decommissioned to be placed in museums around the United States. LAX has one, the Smithsonian has one, and now JS. And so does Kennedy. Once the shuttle is taken off, this is the covering that was left behind the fence. So they actually get blown off. And the rust in the back is the debris from and all the fuel once it's taken off. Kick out of watching pictures from space. So this was taken by Story Musgrove. He's a 6-time shuttle pilot. And this was taken by Hubble. He also designed many of the tools that are used to repair and fix Hubble. This is Cairo, and you can see in the square, those are the Egyptian pyramids. And we have, the kids really love this picture, volcano. And transit Venus. And then we have our supermoon. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming. I'll make a couple of quick draws. Sandra. Oh, no. Sandra Mirabel. Sandra Mirabel. Come on. Take a picture. David Kim. Come on up. And the last one. Steve Cole.
Now, just before you leave, folks, I have to offer my apologize. I was supposed to be here to introduce Maria, and I got bogged down in the elementary booth. Maria, I do want to thank you for coming from Manitoba to be with us here today. It said, you know, in a write-up that her true love was space. I think we could see that from today. And the idea of having someone here who has engineered live video broadcast of the International Space Station and won the Prime Minister's Award for Teaching Excellence, I just think that's fabulous, and thank you for coming. And I'm sorry I couldn't have been here for the first half hour. I do apologize for that. So one more round of applause, please, for Maria.
If you're also looking for a really, really big way of engaging your kids and getting them hooked on science, I just completed the Student Spaceflight Experiment program. We were the first Canadian elementary experiment to go to the International Space Station. It was by a group of grade 5 or 6 students. They're now grade 7. It took us 2 years to get it done. And it just came back from the International Space Station. Their experiment was on cancer. They wanted to see if the antioxidant in green tea would protect yeast cells, which was a stand-in for human cells. They wanted to see if the green tea antioxidant would actually protect it from DNA damage. The results were that it did, but it wasn't significant. So what the kids want to now know is if we can do this again, can we put it outside the space station, because they found out that the space station is actually quite well protected, and it protects the astronauts good from cosmic radiation. but not so much outside. So the kids want to see if maybe now we can get it outside and see if the green tea actually works, and they want to make a sunscreen out of it so that we can protect humans on Earth. So the Student Spaceflight Experiment Program is a program that you can enter into. You can talk to Dr. Jeff Goldstein, and the program is ssep.org, and he will hook you up, and he's an amazing man to work with. And we now have 2 more Canadian experiments that are going up. One unfortunately just blew up on Antares a few weeks ago, unfortunately, but they're from BC, their experiment, and the others are actually going to get to be redone, and it's going up in spring in, I believe, March. And then Alberta is coming on board, and they're going to be designing a high school experiment. So it's a fantastic way to get the kids really hooked on science and space and a love of learning. So enjoy.
That's it for the Google Hangout on Air. Hope you enjoyed Maria's talk. See you tomorrow.